we've just been doing,
That's recorded.
we kind of hit a snag, but
Yeah.
we'll be up and running full force here in a few days, so.
Internet too and everything.
Taking other, what's that?
You get the internet figured out too.
Oh, yeah. See, I was right about that card thing too. If you go on Straight Talk and you just use a debit card,
Yeah.
every time I do that, it screws with my hotspot. As soon as we bought the card and actually put the card in, it worked just fine.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, I mean, now at least you know. I mean, that's for sure. So I understand.
Well, I should have known last time. It happened before, so.
Yeah, as soon as I got off of the show, then started converting it, then he gets a hold of me. Yeah. I should have just waited a few minutes, but I sent him the link. So for this one here, so hopefully he'll answer it here.
You can send me a link so I can put it on my Facebook.
Sure.
This will be part 2.
Well, we're not going live. I'm not going to go live on this one. This is going to be.
Oh, we're not? Oh, okay.
We're just doing a private recording because I don't want to. In case if it takes them a little bit to get on, I don't, maybe I'll.
Well,
that air.
Your people, man.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be better if it's just a surprise. I would say, right? Oh, the guy didn't show up, and all of a sudden then he did.
Yeah, but if nobody fans watching it, they ain't gonna go watch the tape version of it.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah, they will.
Of course they will.
Okay. Hey, guys know better than me.
Yeah, we know how this
I'm
goes.
saying,
Bro,
most people watch it after the fact.
And especially,
Yeah,
that's
regular.
Especially since this is a separate video now than the other one. This has nothing to do with the show. This is like a bonus, like an exclusive. So it's
Yeah, and it won't be fun
boner.
having it. Oh, this show is 2 hours long. Well, I don't got 2 hours to sit. If we split it up a little bit, that's what when they were talking about how they split up their show into segments and stuff like that. That might be a good idea for us.
If we don't have a guest that week, run this.
What's that?
If we don't have a guest 1 week, just run this version that nobody's going to see so far. Don't you think that would be okay?
Yeah, I mean, whatever. I mean,
I don't know. I'm not. You guys are into this longer than me. I'm just a squirrel trying to get a nut.
All right, that sounds good.
Do that off camera.
Looks like you get a lot of nuts there. No, I'm just kidding.
Donnie does it all the time. Why can't I? Where's he at? Oh, there he is. I ain't seen everybody for some reason. I wish I could not see Frankie, but other than that.
What about Jackie?
Like I have no hand or so. It's like
Jackie. I wish I couldn't see Jackie. Jackie Slauson.
Yeah.
Oh, who's Jackie? Wait a minute.
Yeah, I did my promo and I called him Jackie instead of Frankie. And I got help.
Best part, it was more than once.
Yeah.
Okay. I got my point across.
The opener and the ending is all
just
Jackie.
seeing if everybody was paying attention.
But I can see how you can screw that up because Frankie and Jackie almost sound.
Man, I just threw my food down. Like when you told me you're getting back on, like I'm sick now.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry.
Bobby came down right at the end of the show and decided he was going to cook for us. So
I just figured I'd let you know. I could have been like, no, I'm doing this all by myself, but I have no questions to ask.
Hey, that's enough. That's enough, I said.
Right.
I threw my food down. I'm ready.
Well,
okay.
Just get some spaghetti. So we're just waiting for him. I'm saying he's got the email, so that's why I got my phone. I look out and the FedEx guy delivered by a computer desk now. So now we got to put it together.
Why don't we all put it together? Go get it.
Yeah, we'll do
I'll watch you put it together.
Oh, then you'd watch that. Yeah. Well, I'm having my guy who lives next door. He's gonna help me put it together because I suck at putting stuff together. I'm not an engineer or whatever. I don't work in trains.
All you need is a screw gun.
That's right.
Probably
and
now.
Down these directions.
I want to directions are all Chinese. I don't know how to read Chinese.
Okay, how are we gonna do this now? I had everything set up perfect. the way I wanted to ask it. Now I'm freaking screwed.
I already got the other episode converted now, so it's all done with, and I'll put that up.
You could actually put this on tomorrow if you wanted to.
Oh, we'll see. Well, let's just hope the guy just shows up here first. You know,
I know you, Sean. You'll be excited and put it on.
if he shows up like he says he's going to now, yeah, I will be excited because that's like, you know, he's one of the big.
Just like you,
big
just like
names.
when we had our conversation the other day. You're going, I'm going to wait till Tuesday. I'm going to change that thing over to the swamp thing, and then fucking next day I look, it was done.
Yeah, well,
Well, I guess he ain't coming, huh?
you guys. I mean, if you leave, you know, I mean, I'm not reinviting you, so just spend a half an hour with me and see what happens. And we'll see what happens. You know, and if nothing happens, then we still got a bonus. You know, I recorded it, so
Let me take my vitamins while I'm waiting.
yeah, it's behind the scenes.
Yeah, you can
So
do
was
what
there
you want.
anything was there anything that you guys wanted to talk about on the show that we didn't talk about at all that you wanted to cover? Because I feel like those guys took a lot longer than I thought it was.
Frankie, Sean told me not to take up all the time on the second guest. I don't think anybody could get a question in. Sean never shut his freaking mouth.
Well, because I
Yeah,
know
but Tony, you can't say that because you said me, Mama T, and Sam. Those other two guys never said a word either. They hardly said anything.
I got cut off.
you have to know when the timing is right. And
I could
feel
care
like-
less. I just sit back and listen.
Yeah, I feel like as somebody who's done interviews for a while, I know when the the right time to talk, you know, and because I have a good connection, that helps. If I had a lag, it'd be all fucked up, and I'm glad we don't, well, Mama T had some of that today, but, you know, it's.
I wanted to ask them about their charity stuff. They were rambling on. I forgot to let them go.
Well, I'm glad, you know, and see, that's how you do an interview. You let the guest speak, you know. Sometimes they speak too much. I've had interviews where the person just took over the interview and I asked maybe a couple
Bill
questions.
Kinnison.
Oh, yeah, but I've had worse than Bill. Downey York from Shot on Up could talk your ear off, you know, for the 2 hours, you know. I asked a couple questions and he told his whole life story in 2 hours, you know. Downey York from Shot on Up. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. That's why it's the beauty of doing this type of stuff. You never know.
I think I'm gonna start raising my hand when I've got a question.
No, you can't.
No.
Or do middle finger or whatever. It doesn't matter.
That might be a good idea, Sean. If you want to speak, why not raise your hand? And that way we won't step on each other.
Well, I mean, you can if you want. I mean, it's up to you.
Well, it's got to be everybody doing it. You know what I mean?
I mean, we're not in school, but I guess I understand.
Yeah, if you do that, like, what if everybody does it at once? Like, you can't even see my arm.
Yeah, but then let Sean pick us out. Who's next? Like I'm professional too. I'm like Sean. I did this stuff for years. I did it since 2000 and I think 3. I started my podcast or something. But he's been longer than me. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I did it for a long time. I made the newspapers, the news. I mean, I'm pretty good at this stuff too. But I just sit back and let everybody do their thing. And then when I'm ready for a question, that's a good idea. I got to guess. Sean, you should be able to watch us. If you see more than one hand, say,
Sure.
Sam, what do you got to say? Or Tony, or what, you know what I mean?
Well, it
Mama
does make
T?
sense, I guess, you know. I just feel like it's like, oh, we're going back to school.
Is that Bobby waiting on you?
Yes.
Hi,
Hi,
Bobby.
I never met you, Bobby.
Going on, man. We're just waiting around here.
Bring me some food, Bobby.
That.
He doesn't deliver. My
Not
car's in
the-
the shop and he can't drive anyway.
Not to Ohio. Me and Sean figured out the other day how long it would take for me to go to it would take Tony further, but for us to go to meet you guys is like freaking 18 hours or 17 hours.
You used to drive that from Florida every day.
Yeah, but Tony, I drive to Pittsburgh. I can't walk when I get out of the car. That's only 2 hours.
You never walked anyways, you waddled.
Well, I lost 6 pounds this week, which brings my total to 68 pounds.
Wow.
So I'm happy with
Good
that. Did I lose 6 pounds, huh? Yeah, 6 pounds.
Well, that's exciting.
I don't want to show them up, so I ain't gonna tell you how much I lost.
I don't care. I don't even in no competition to lose weight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
I went 240. I'm gonna go down to 243. That's 100 pounds. That's all.
Don't be mad. I'm only
I
teasing
ain't
you.
mad.
There you are.
Okay, sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. It should never be a competition when it comes to.
Don't
Well,
be a
what-
hit.
End up having-
That's why I don't put on Facebook or not because I don't want anybody to think I'm in a competition with them.
The first time you did, I show you every 3 days.
That was
Uh-huh.
fucking 11 years ago.
Close in an hour.
When I do it, you yell at me. You did it all the time.
I did it, yeah, 11 years ago when Facebook like wasn't that popular.
Myself, that's all.
I know. I don't care about what you do. I'm just saying I won't do it because I don't want nobody to. Then they'll be thinking we're in the competitions and shit.
Yeah, you know what people think of that, you know.
No, we don't want that.
Competition, you're supporting each other.
But yeah, remember, you're not like, you know, in your 20s and everything where everybody can just, you know, lose weight so quickly, you know. It's like sometimes it takes
Dude,
a
it's
while.
harder now to lose weight than ever was. I'm telling you. I
Yeah.
I fast.
7
I
years
fast
ago,
be-
70 years ago, you weren't 68.
I know that, but I'm saying I fast. I fast between 16 to 20 hours a day.
That's
So
not
like
good.
today
That's-
I had. Yeah, it is,
No, it ain't,
I'm-
because you're not
dude.
turning
It's
on.
working.
You're not turning on. You have to eat something to turn on your fat burning system.
I did.
drink
I ate.
a protein shake in the morning. A protein shake consists of 50 grams of protein. It's only 100 calories, but it turns my system on, so I'm burning fat now. I'm burning.
Let me tell you something. Look it up, Tony. Fasting makes fat, burns fat.
I'm
Did you
going
buy
to this once a
starving?
week. I
Oh,
got
no, I
some.
almost wrecked today. I was so hungry. I almost wrecked my car. I almost went off the road because I was so lightheaded. I haven't eaten for 21 hours. Huh?
I'm never hungry. I got a nutritionist. She said that's the worst thing you can do. First
Well,
meal,
it's working. I'm going to keep doing it.
yeah, but first meal you should have your breakfast in the morning. That turns your everything on that has to do with fuel. Your second meal should be a protein shake. Your third meal should be a 400 or 500 calorie dinner.
I
I had
don't
a-
eat after 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Huh?
I don't eat after 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
That's no good.
I eat all the time. But you know what? You guys think it's hard for you to lose weight? Try being nearly 50 years old, a woman who's had 4 kids. You think it's
Who?
hard for you to lose weight?
You have 4 kids. Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
So did I. And I'm 63. I had 3 kids. You don't see me bitching and moaning about it.
Well,
Yeah, but you can't. Pregnancy weight doesn't go away as fast as pregnancy weight. though.
I'm only kidding. My wife had 3 kids. I'm just their father. That's why I hope.
yeah.
Think.
You got to
I
chug a
noticed
lot
right
of
here.
coffee for
I
that
noticed I'm getting wrinkles underneath there.
Dude, my tits are hitting my floor.
one. You need a man's ear.
Yeah, I need a man's ear. And my arms used to be big and muscular. Now I got this.
Now you can
This-
fly away.
Yeah, you got wings out, you know. Who needs Red Bull, you know?
Don't worry, training 2 times a day now. In the morning, I do 30 minutes of cardio and muscles, and I go back at 4 o'clock and go again.
I do 30 minutes. I do 36 minutes a day on my treadmill.
I
That's
can't
it.
walk. I can't walk or run or ride.
I put my knee braces on.
I can't do it. I'm not alive, so I ain't going to do it. My right knee is ready to blow up, and if it
The
doesn't,
only good thing about me and Tony is one thing I am competition at is I'm a handsome motherfucker, not like him. He's an ugly son of a bitch.
that's because he ain't got no mirrors in his house.
We got windows.
And if
You
he
got my
does-
house mirror.
And if he does have a mirror, he can only see half of himself. I told you, he went in a tanning bed. He looked like a strip of bacon when he come out. I only did the middle. It's both sides, right? He tanned like a strip of bacon.
What the hell?
Tony was so fat. Every time we turned around, it was his birthday.
You were so fat. If you were watching his arm, you'd cover 2 time zones. Johnny wore a Malcolm X coat one day, and a helicopter tried to land on him.
Tony's so fat that he lost he wanted directions, and so he asked some guy. He goes, "How do I get to 579?" The guy says, "You ever tried the Atkins diet?"
Johnny's so fat. He went to computer day and the computer matched him up with Detroit.
My
He's the
wife's
only
shaking her
guy
head.
got stretch marks in his bathtub. He jumped in the lake and he left a ring around it.
Tony's so fat when he jumps up in the air, he gets stuck.
Johnny's so fat. One day he wore a blue hat and a yellow raincoat and he went into Giant Eagles and someone tried to put film in his pocket.
Oh,
They thought he was a photo hut.
Tony's
all
so
right,
fat.
guys, our guest is coming, so. be good.
Okay.
Behave now.
Yeah, put on your man shoes or whatever.
I had to wear this hat because I wasn't going to run to my bathroom.
Hey.
All right. Out of here.
Hello.
Hey, Jack.
Hey, how are you?
Good. How you doing,
Hi,
man?
I'm good,
Jack.
thanks.
Hi, Jack.
I
Hi,
hope it wasn't
guys.
too much- Hope it wasn't too much of an issue you getting on here at all. With the Zoom, anyway. Or can you?
Can you hear us,
All
Jack?
good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You hear
Yeah.
us?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Cool. I hope it wasn't too much of an issue with you getting on, because I maybe we had our times mixed up or something. I don't know. I don't know if you can hear that well or not, but can you hear me at all there, Jack?
Yeah, I can barely hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Can you hear me, Jack, at all?
Yeah, I can hear you, but it's low. I can barely
Oh.
hear you.
Oh, okay. It's just your computer. Okay. I'll try to just yell a little bit, but we appreciate you being on our show here, Jack.
Hey, it's my privilege, my friend.
A lot of us remember you from back in the day, from back in your early career, and one of us did research. Guy down below, anyway, did his name's Mad Dog, and he's gonna pretty much conduct the interview with you and ask you some questions about your boxing career and whatnot as well. So hopefully that's okay with you.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Jack, I'm Mad Dog. I used to be a professional wrestler and I boxed a little bit, but I was so amazed at your boxing career. You started out, you were 16-0. That's amazing.
Yeah,
And
and then they
amazing.
discovered I had this disease, acromegalia, which they couldn't believe I was even fighting. They said, how do it's a tumor of the pituitary that causes depression, and if your body's putting out 10% growth hormone, mine was sticking out 250. So I said, well, it's my day job. I'll just keep going on. And I just kept on until when I right at the end of my retirement, I had it fixed at the Mass General. They went in with a cyclotron proton machine and blew up the tumor, got rid of it. And I was supposed to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. I checked out in 4 days and went to Baltimore for the 10-round fight. My doctor thought I was crazy, which I
Man.
probably was.
yeah, you were ready to get a title fight. What year was that? 73 when you were supposed to fight Ali, but you fought.
I'm doing a podcast. I'll call you back. Right back. Right. Yeah, I was trying to fight Ali 4 times actually.
Yeah, tell him the story. Why you got the fight, like with his brother and that.
Oh yeah, his brother Rockman.
Yeah, he called you up and said, "Do me a favor, beat the hell out of my brother. I don't want him boxing no more."
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
true.
I'll promise you a fight.
His brother was 14-0 and he never fought again.
Yeah, I remember the fight when you were undefeated and you were ready to go for your title fight. You had a warm-up fight with was it Jimmy Somerville?
Jimmy Somerville. Then they,
Yeah, you lost that fight out, unfortunately, but then you knocked him out on the rematch.
well, they stopped the fight real quick, and I got really angry. They said to D'Angelo Dundee, "What kind of bull is this?" So they made the match right back again, and I knocked him out.
Yeah. Then you won the California State Heavyweight Championships against Henry Clark.
Yeah, nobody wanted to fight Henry, and I took the state title off of him. I went out to fight Norton, and I was doing union business on the East Coast. We had some indictments against us, so called me on the phone. He said, "You want to fight Kenny Norton?" I said, "Where?" "San Diego." I said, "When?" He said, "Next week." I said, "Send me a ticket." So I flew out and I trained, I think, 4 days for the fight, and gave Norton a pretty good licking. And at the end of the ninth round,
He
they
hit you.
rang the bell 3 times before anybody heard it because people were standing on the chairs screaming. And Norton ran across the ring. When the referee separated us, Norton ran across the ring and hit me behind the head and drove me into the ring post. And the commissioner was sitting in my corner and he jumped up and said, "If you can't continue to fight, you just won on a foul." I was so mad. I said, Continue, I'm going to kill this guy."
Yeah.
Of course, I'm fighting him in San Diego, and he's owned by 2 billionaires, so getting a decision was kind of slim. So he won a split decision, but he hardly talked to me for a while after that. I
And you
cut him
fought
up pretty
George Foreman,
badly.
didn't you? Didn't you also fight George Foreman?
Fought George Foreman in the Garden.
Nice.
There was a pretty good fight just on YouTube. And we were doing, I hurt him bad in the second round. I just didn't follow it up. And then I walked into a punch in the fifth round, and it made me mad because as soon as I hit the floor, they stopped the fight because I got up. I wanted to continue, and they just stopped, and George wouldn't fight me again. But we became really good friends. George is a good guy.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
that is unbelievable. Then you became an actor, and you can, if you want to start on, I even see you coming out with a family of your book
I
called
wrote a book, Family Legacy, and we're just getting ready to do a miniseries.
Yeah, wasn't your dad one of the Murder Inc. guys?
Yeah, Albert Anastasia. He was Murder Inc.
Wow.
He
Wow.
was then he
Tough.
became the Anastasia family. And in 57, my father wouldn't go in the drug business and he controlled the harbors. So they assassinated him in 57 and it became the Gambino family.
Oh man,
And Carl Gambino was his underboss.
No way.
Yeah,
jeez. Can't wait. When does the book come out?
it's
Jack?
already out. It's been
Oh.
out for a while. We're going to
I
shoot
thought
the
it was coming out
miniseries.
with the book. I thought they were just bringing it out.
No, we're going to bring out. There's another book coming out. Then we're going to write 2 more. It's time to tell the truth about a lot of things that happened and the changeover of what the drug business did to organized crime and why they shouldn't have gotten into it. My father made a statement. He said, if we touch it, our children will touch it. It'll be the downfall of the families. And that's exactly what happened. Then they tried to kill Frank Costello because Costello had the best political book. And Costello told them the same thing. The government will allow us to do this, this, and this, but they don't want us in the drug business because the government was in the drug business.
Right.
George Bush was partners with Noriega.
Yeah. Anybody want to ask questions about his movie career? You can feel free, but I'm done with the boxing. I loved it, man.
I just gotta say, Jack, you were absolutely. I was terrified of you. You made the best villain. Like every villain you terrified me.
Who played the villain on Batman?
She said you terrified her as a villain.
I tell you, we had a lot of fun doing that movie. I was doing a film called March or Die with Gene Hackman down in Spain, and they came down to Hackman and I, and they flew us up to London to meet Richard Donner. And Donner said to me, "How do you feel about playing a deaf, dumb mute?" I said, "Well, because the character was a brilliant scientist, and then they lobotomized him because he was hanging around Zod." So I said, "I really embraced the idea of doing that." He said, "Well, why?" I said, "Because Jackie Gleason was a good friend of mine, and he won an Oscar for doing Jigo, playing a deaf, dumb mute." I said, "If I ever got an opportunity to do a role such as that, I would embrace it." And the character was great because Zod was a vicious general. Sarah was a man-eater. Somebody had to relate to the kids. So I played this huge guy like a child, learning how to work his eyes and learning how to, and it worked out pretty well,
How tall are you, Jack?
Sorry,
How tall are you?
6'6".
6'6".
It
Wow.
had 5 when you were fighting, but I knew you were taller than that. You
6'6",
played a lot
yeah.
of movies with Gene Hackman. Huh? You played in King Kong, and
King
what was the
Kong,
other?
yeah, that was the second. The
Battledore?
first film was with Robert Mitchum, Farewell, My Lovely, which is a great film. It's actually very good. Anthony Zerbe and Charlotte Rampling, and a lot of good people. Then I did King Kong, and then I did March or
Battle,
Die, and then I did
the
Dragnet.
Battlemore?
Yeah, huh?
Was it the Battlemore or something like that?
The Witch.
With Gene Hackman and James Corbin.
Oh, Battle was March or Die was in the Foreign Legions.
Yeah, March or Die was in 77.
Yeah.
1970.
That was actually a pretty good movie. It was, but what it was 4 hours long. They shot it, and when you cut 4 hours, you cut 2 hours out of 4 hours. You chop it down pretty good.
Huh.
Well, we had a kid called Terrence Hill, who was an Italian superstar. He did all those spaghetti westerns with Bud Spencer. That was the first picture he did in English, was March or Die. We had a great cast. Max von Sydow was in it, and Ian
I
Holm,
have to watch that.
Gene Hackman, Catherine Deneuve.
You also did some Perry Mason, right?
Did that on TV. I did some TV shows. Yeah. Baltimore Bullet was a great movie with Jimmy Coburn and Omar Sharif. And Dragnet was a good picture with Danny Aykroyd and Tom Hanks.
Yeah, you were
Yeah.
on that too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, Dragnet was in 1987, I think.
yeah,
I got a question for you.
yeah.
Who was the worst person as far as actors? What was the worst experience you had with any specific actor?
Worst experience I had with any specific actor. That's interesting. Wow. I never really had a bad experience, to be very honest with you. I've worked with some great actors, but I tell you, the old timers were much better than these young kids that are up today because they were always on time. They were always, they were very conscientious of what they did. And when you worked with Mitchum and especially Brando, when they walk on the set, you could hear a pin drop. And they would say good morning to everybody, and they would say good night to everybody. And like Mitchum taught me, he said, Jack, this is like a family. We're all together here. And if you don't respect each other, you don't come up with a good product. So I learned from Mitchum was like a mentor for me because I had never been in front of a camera before. And, they came to me in 1967 when I was boxing in Boston. Steve McQueen did the Thomas Crown Affair, and they came to me, and Steve and I became good friends. And he said, "Oh man, you got to get in the movie. You got to come to Hollywood, Jack. We'll have a ball." I said, "Man, I'm undefeated as a fighter. I'm looking to fight Ali. I don't think this will work out too well at the moment." And then he did a picture called Towering Inferno, and his name was Captain O'Halloran. And he called me on the phone. He said, "Hey, I like your name up on the screen." He was always trying to get me to go to Hollywood. Then in 1969, I knocked out Manuel Ramos, who was ranked 2 in the world. He was champ of Mexico. And they were looking to make an Ali fight with him until I knocked him out. And then they came to me and they offered me the Great White Hope with James Earl Jones. And it was a picture that I turned. I said, I just knocked out the number 2 heavyweight, and I'm looking to fight Ali. And you want me to go to Spain for 6 months? But Raymond Patriarch had made a deal with Fox, Eddie Foy, trying to get me off the street so I would keep out of trouble. And I turned the movie down, and I was walking out of Fox, and named James Earl Jones was walking up the steps. I was walking down, and he stopped me and said, "You're Jack O'Halloran." I said, "Well, you're James Earl Jones. What's up?" He said, "Is it true what I just heard about you?" I said, "What's that?" He said, "You told Hollywood to take the biggest movie being made and stick it." I said, "Well, if you want to talk that way." He said, "Well, I got to shake your hand. I never met anybody who did that before." Then when I retired, they came to me and they wanted me to do a film with I had an agent in San Diego when I was California heavyweight champ, did a lot of commercials. And she said, they want you to do a film called March or Die. Farewell, My Lovely with Robert Mitchum. And I think you should do it. So I went to New York and met the director. He flew me out to California, did a screen test, and Mitchum said, it's either him or I don't do the movie. So I blame it all on Robert Mitchum.
There you go. He did a movie with Chuck Norris too in 1988.
Terror and the Terror. Probably
Yeah,
the best thing he ever did. That wasn't a bad movie either.
No, it was a great movie. I saw that one actually.
It was pretty
Yeah.
good.
So the Superman 2 movie, how did you get that role?
Well, we did Superman 1 and 2 together. We did both movies together, and
Right.
in fact, that was the worst thing they did was fire Donner. That was insanity. And they just didn't want to pay him. And how do you cut Marlon Brando out of a picture?
Yeah.
But if you see the Donner cut of Superman 2, it's a much better picture.
Oh, sure.
Right.
That didn't come out till 20-some years later.
I got the 4K copies of all the movies that came out last year because they released a box set, as you're probably aware. Warner Brothers did to celebrate the 100th anniversary. I got the 4K set of that of all the Supermans.
Yeah, the Donner cut is really good.
Oh yeah.
Lester put a lot of comedy into. It was a good movie, but Donner's was better. Donner was a great director.
Yeah. Yeah, they include that in the box set anyway, the Donner cut. Yeah. It's good. Good stuff. No, we appreciate having you on there, Jack. I mean, we're all from we're from Minnesota, the Mama T and myself, and then Screaming Sam and Mad Dog or Anthony, they're from the Ohio Pittsburgh area. Just so you know.
Oh, okay. I know Ohio well.
Pittsburgh.
I know Cleveland. I know Pittsburgh well.
Yeah,
I was born and raised in Philadelphia.
Pittsburgh, but moved to Ohio.
Huh?
We don't go back in.
Pittsburgh's changed quite a bit, boy.
Oh yeah.
It's
Oh, yeah.
changed. I remember back in the 60s when it was smoky.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, I used to be a professional wrestler. I just got inducted into Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame in Pittsburgh.
All right.
Bruno Sammartino and George the Animal Steel.
Bruno Sammartino, what a great guy.
Yeah, he did my first match. I was honored.
He was a great wrestler. He was Gorgeous George was a friend of mine.
Well,
Gorgeous
Bruno
George.
in 70 was still bench pressing 405, if you want to believe that. He
Well,
was just
they used to when I was boxing in San Diego, they used to have wrestling matches before the fight. And what's his name? Man came to me after I got done boxing. He said, Jack, he said, you ought to come wrestle. You should come into professional wrestler. I said, I don't think that's a great idea. He said, well, why do you say that? I said, well, Ezra Charles you tried to talk Ezra Charles into doing it. And the guy slipped and hit him with an elbow, and Ezra turned around and knocked him out. He said, oh, you can't do that. He said,
yeah, you had to learn how to do a dance. That was a dance, my friend.
oh, that's what they told me. Gorgeous George, Ali started all his rabbiting and all that chatting because Gorgeous George taught him that. He said, if you get 50% of the people that hate you, 50% of the people that love you, you got 100% of the crowd.
Right.
That's right.
So Rabbit, Ali started all that garbage talking and all that stuff. And
Right.
he was one of the nicest guys you ever meet when you met him one-on-one.
That's what I had to do when they told me I was a heel, which means I was a bad guy. I had to go out and drink people's beer and hit little. Time I got to the ring, I had to have half the crowd hate me. Then they didn't realize how bad of a wrestler I was because they hate me so much that it didn't matter. I just went out there and did my thing. Yeah. I used to put my kid in the crowd and tell him to get nachos and a pop and don't touch it. And then I'd walk down the ring and grab the nachos and say, these are cool, and smash them in his face. And then dump the cook on me, yell, Dad. I'm like, we're in West Virginia. Everybody thinks I'm their dad. And there'd be people waiting outside wanting to beat me up because I did that to that little kid and they didn't know that was my son.
You remember Argentina Rockin', don't you?
Yeah.
Well, with the flying head scissors.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a
I
pretty good wrestler.
I got to meet a bunch of them, man, and I tell you what, it was a life I loved to live. It was just only part time. I had to work full time because I had kids, you know. I'd travel out on the weekends, drive 600-700 miles, do a couple restaurants, drive back and be at work at Monday, you know. Yeah. So, anybody else got any questions?
What was what was your favorite movie to do? Like the
Farewell, my
favorite act-
lovely.
what I should-
Farewell, my lovely.
and what did you
And
love
then-
about
Working with Robert Mitchum was incredible. You know, and Charlotte Rampling, Anthony Zerbe, Harry Dean Stanton had a great cast. It was a great story. And it was the first film I ever did. You know, and Mitchum was incredible. But then after that, I don't think I didn't do a bad movie of all the films I did. Superman, of course, was brilliant. We had a good time. We did for 3 years, become a family, you know, and it made us iconic actors, which worked out pretty well. You know?
Oh, yeah.
Did
And
you
I
live in
remember the
Philadelphia
first
one time?
Comic-Con I ever did. A guy came up and he was chatting with me. Oh man, dude, you know, do something. Well, how much you scared me and all. And I said, well, I thought, and he said, wow, you can really talk. I said, I must have done a pretty good job if you think I'm deaf, dumb, mute, man.
Hey, did you live in Philadelphia at one time?
I was born and raised there.
That's what I thought, because it said that you almost were going to play professional football for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Well, you know, when I came out of school, I left school after my freshman year, and I was grabbed by the Jets. And at that time, you couldn't play pro ball until your class graduated. So we had a league on the East Coast that a lot of guys played in until they were eligible to play professional. And I was under contract to the Jets, so and we played a couple games a week to keep our levels up and stuff. And when I came eligible to play, Al Lee had just won the title. And a lot of friends of mine were down in Philly. And I said, you know, I told you, Bang, I think I'd like to get out and play in Philadelphia. So, well, you got a home here. Whatever you want to do, it's up to you. But then they sold the team to Jerry Wallman. And Wallman hired a guy named Joe Kuharich, who traded the championship football team away. He traded Sonny Jurgensen, Tommy McDonald to Washington.
He
for a
traded
guy who
Jurgensen.
couldn't
I
play.
remember that.
He traded 5 great linebackers. He traded 5 linemen to Green Bay for an ancient guard who was retiring. Traded Herb Cross. And I said, so Timmy Brown and I come out of a meeting, and he walked right by us. And I said, wow, man, you don't talk to people? I said, you know what? Take this team and stick it. And Timmy said, while you're at it, trade me. So I told some gangster friends of mine in Philly, I said, you know, I can beat that Ali guy. And they just threw me in the gym and started boxing, man, you know?
There you go.
You ever have contact with the old actors you worked with? You ever
Yeah,
have
yeah.
contact?
Yeah. In fact, I'll see Sarah next month. We're doing a Comic-Con together. And Mark McClure will be there and a couple other people. And Hackman's retired. I talk to him once in a while. He's retired. He lives out in New Mexico.
I loved Hackman. I loved him.
He's a great guy. We
Oh,
did 2 films together, March or Die, and then we did Superman. And, when they fired Donner, he wouldn't come back. He didn't come back to finish the second movie. They body doubled him. He was Gene's a great guy, great actor.
was he in the Baltimore too, or the Baltimore?
Baltimore Bullet was Jimmy Coburn and Omar Sharif.
Oh, okay.
Omar Sharif was a trip. Boy, what a funny clown he was. I tell you, he was a gambling degenerate. But he was the first guy that did backgammon on a board game, like a computer game. And when we had every pool hustler, Minnesota fans, everybody the picture was about 9-ball tournament. So they shot the 9-ball tournament that year at MGM Studios. So they had every hustler from the country was in the movie. And they were all waiting for Omar to come to the set. And he came in off the plane, he was doing a makeup checkup, and they were all standing around his chair, and I was sitting next to him talking to him. And they're saying, hey man, how you doing, brother? Boy, we'd like to play a little backgammon with you. And Omar said, hey guys, I just got off the plane, you know, I'm getting my, oh well, you know, okay, we'll wait with you. He said to me, Jack, you got to come and watch this. I went over, sat down with him, and he was playing backhand with these guys. They're all thinking they're gonna. They said, "How much you guys want to play for?" And they said, "Oh, well, how about $20 a point?" And Omar said, "How about 200 a point?" And they said, "Whoa, yeah, man!" They thought they had a hustle going on. I never saw anybody take 20 grand off of people faster in my life. He was he spun that cube like it was his own, boy. I said, "Wow, that's pretty good."
That's awesome.
But he's a good guy. We went to breakfast one morning, and there were women that were lined up outside all the way around the block, waiting to see him. And I said, "Wow, man, you have this problem every day?" He said, "Jack, you have no idea. These people are crazy, man."
And
But
Superman,
he was a good guy, great actor.
you that villain you did in Superman, you had me shitting myself. Till I was afraid to meet you now. Excuse my language.
Superman worked out pretty well.
That was a
worked
great.
out good.
That was
So
great.
what do you do in your spare time then when you're not doing podcasts or anything? What do you do for fun?
Well, we're doing we're getting ready to shoot Family Legacy. It'd be an 8-episode miniseries, and I'm writing 2 other books. And then we're trying to put a studio together out in Vegas. Want to build a 4 million square foot studio and put everything under one roof for the first time,
Wow.
so that people
That's
don't have
awesome.
to travel. We're going to build a smart city next to it that'll house 30,000 people, so they only have 15 minutes to go to work, and just make it, very cost effective. And it's something that the industry's needed for a long time. The problem with the industry today is that it's owned by, the studios are owned by conglomerates. They don't have any creative people anymore. It's not like it was in the old days.
Sure. Yeah. Too much
So independent, a lot of good
CGI.
independents coming and flourishing.
Yeah.
Starting to make some pretty good movies.
Too much talk of CGI all the time. It seems like they just want to use
Boy,
CGI. To do everything.
I have a great treatment. We're pushing. Actually, I think we're gonna get it together within a year. We're gonna bring Superman. We're gonna do a Superman film and bring Christopher back and the 3 villains, but we're gonna do it in hologram. And
No
we have
way.
a great treatment where the villains, there's a technology that changes their mindset from evil to good, and they become cohorts of Superman. They become like partners, and now there's 4 of them fighting all these planets trying to invade Earth. And we have a technology that reverses violence, which I think is something that needs to be done, because the superhero movies today, the superheroes are killing more people than the villains, and I think that's got to stop. So we want to reverse violence and send people home passive. And we have a terrific treatment. I think it's going to work out. And my character gets his lobotomy transferred. It takes his lobotomy away. And the first words I'm going to say are, Zod, kneel before Nam. Pretty good, huh? Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not bad. Not bad. Did you get a chance to watch that Flash movie at all when they had the?
Yeah, they brought Christopher back, and they've worked this hologram business works pretty good. They did it with Michael Jackson. They did it with a few people, and the technology is terrific.
Yeah, they did that with Tupac too. Yeah.
Yeah, Tupac, and there was a couple films that people died in that they actually finished the film, and it's a great technology. But they got this AI that they're trying to make films without people and use their image and all. But I think the strike stopped all that.
Yeah, that's what it's supposed to do, I think. Well, anyway, we appreciate having you on. We don't want to take up too much more of your time, but for anybody that wants to know more about you, how would they do that?
You can get a hold of me. My email address is movielandproperties@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or you can go on.
Somebody write that down.
I have it on file if you need it.
Yeah, if you ever need a big stupid wrestler, I can act a little bit.
Oh, there you go. We can all listen. So I have to tell you a funny story. I have a friend of mine who said, "You got to put me in this. You got to put me in the miniseries, Jack." I said, "Well, yeah, we could probably squeeze you in somewhere." No, he said, I want to play a guy getting killed, and I want to be a guy that takes 20 minutes to die.
Use me as the mobster if you need a mobster.
There you go, my friend.
Did you say
Alright,
monster or mobster?
I think he said mobster.
It's the
All
guy
right, man.
with the fish. Is that all right?
All right, Jack. Well, we appreciate you. And thanks for
Jack,
being
I had
on
a
the
ball,
show.
man. Thank you.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you, guys. You take care. You hear?
Love
Okay,
you,
buddy.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year.
And thanks
Ah,
for
that was
watching this
awesome.
exclusive on Renegade
Jack, you're
Radio.
amazing.
Bye.